Hey, Shalom, giving all praises, acknowledgement, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah, Hakodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is, He exists, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the beloved Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai meaning He deliverer. But Hashem just means in the name. A double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that have taught us this truth, and they continue to teach us. And shalom to our brothers doing this mighty and powerful works in hopes of salvation. Wall Street and the dollar tremble. Economic update right here. Wall Street is trembling. The dollar trembling as investors retreat further from the United States. What scripture is that? Ecclesiastes 12 literally says tremble. This prophecy of economic collapse is about to be fulfilled. Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Bro, we're literally in that day. Wall Street is trembling. They're the keepers of the economy. All right? The root word for economy is house. They keep the elite's house. All right? They watch the money. They manage the money. They lend the money. They produce, increases for the elites. They predict the dollar, the rise of products and so forth, stocks. That's why it's considered the fish market in the scriptures. All right, sales, Wall Street and the dollar tremble as investors retreat further from the United States.
Tell you that
think
the
that's
U.S.
bad. Gold is at $3,000 an ounce. People don't understand. This is beyond major. Gold an ounce is $3,000. So if gold goes up, what happens to the dollar? Google this shit for yourself. Simply put, the relationship between the US dollar and the price of gold is traditionally inverse. Other words, as the value of one increases, the value of the other decreases. So the American dollar is fucked. It is through. And we're witnessing it turn into goddamn rubbish. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. They are in fear right now. Right now as we speak, people are thinking about killing their families, offing themselves because of the economy. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And jobs is hard to find in 2025. If you got a job, you literally winning right now. All these people that, especially these women, they want a dude that got 6 figures. You're going to be lucky to have a man that got a job. Because jobs Jobs is dwindling, man. And unemployment ain't paying. Because they are few. And it doesn't help that all these stores are closing. All these businesses are struggling. Their gross income for the day for transaction is not meeting their quarterly. Right? Their net gross is not adding up. And it doesn't help that these tariffs are in play and businesses have to pay for it, and they're paying for it through the customers. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. So the CEOs, they're looking from their high estate, their high rise, their $1 trillion corporation skyscraper, and they're like, nah, this I gotta file for bankruptcy. I don't see any future in America. It's looking dark. All right, so they're selling their companies. Yeah, man. In that day, we're in that day. It says Wall Street and the dollar trembles as investors retreat further from the United States. And believe it or not, you got a lot of jakes that are into trades, gurus. They're telling people how to win with these stocks. Nigga, the jig is up. Money is through. Your God is about to be put to death. All right? The Most High said you can't serve two masters. You're going to either love the one and despise the other. And you niggas chose money. And now money is dying. What you gonna do? What you gonna believe in now? Dudes be trying to flex on you and shit with money. Like, nigga, money is done. What you gonna boast in? All right? It says the Dow Jones Industry Average dropped 971 points. Man, this shit is, to say that it's already showing that it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Edomites are talking about we're in a silent recession. These fucking people they're lunatics, man. They're crazy as fuck. They're walking around like nothing is happening, like the world ain't collapsing around them. That's the pride of these fucking Americans. While losses for Tesla and Nvidia help drag the thing down to 2.6. Perhaps more worryingly, the U.S. government bonds and the value of the U.S. dollar also sank as prices retreated across U.S. markets. It is an unusual move because Treasury and the dollar have historically strengthened during periods of nervousness. All right, so the bomb can't heal this place. The feds could pump money, they could lower interest, they could increase interest. It's not gonna help the economy. It's time for the money to die. It's policies directly from Washington that are causing the fear and potentially weakening their reputations as some of the world's safest investments. Trump continues his rough talk on global trade as economists and investors continue to say his stiff proposed tariffs could cause a recession. No, this shit is a recession happening, dumbass, not could cause. if they're not rolled back. U.S. talks last week with Japan failed. So pride is going to be the undoing of the so-called white man in this kingdom. All right, pride. To reach a real quick deal that could lower tariffs and protect the economy. And they're seen as a test case. It says the businessmen who criticize tariffs are bad at business, but really bad at politics. You got to understand how foolish you have to be to go against the number one country that makes products, that manufactures your products. That's really stupid. All right? But we know what they're doing. They're all playing the game. This is to kill the dollar. All right? Even if you get Trump trying to negotiate with others like Japan and South Korea, even if you get those other countries, China makes literally all the products. Just because your ass wanted to be cheap, you wanted to pay cheap labor, of course, taking advantage of China. And now that they have become one of the most powerful countries in manufacturing and producing things, now you want to get mad that they got the balls in their court. All right. It says the Fed has been resistant to lowering rates too quickly because it does not want to allow inflation to re-accelerate after slowing nearly all the way down to its goal of 2% from more than 9% 3 years ago. And that was in Trump's term. All right. Trump talked Monday about a slowdown for the U.S. economy that could be coming unless Mr. Too Late, a major loser, lower interest rates now. So a move by Trump to fire Powell would likely send a bolt of fear through financial markets. While Wall Street loves lowering rates largely, so Wall Street love lowering rates, the keepers of the house, so they manage the economy, largely because they boost stock prices. The bigger worry would be that a less independent Fed would be less effective at keeping inflation under control. That means everything is going to go up. You see it, man. It doesn't matter what they do. The economy is through. They could increase interest rates. It doesn't hide the fact that the dollar is still less in value. Such a move could further weaken, if not kill, the United States' reputation as the world's safest place to keep cash. So time for cash to be killed is at hand. And it says, verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, meaning all business is going to die. All right, you see it, the economy, the tariffs. A lot of these business, they can't afford business no more. All right, so that means no more business. Shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. So no jobs, no working, no workers. It's gonna be a different environment out here. You remember 2020 during the pandemic when people wasn't going to work? Well, get used to that new sound again. People gonna be in their fucking houses, not knowing what to do with themselves, cause all they pride themselves upon is working and going to work and providing and saving money. It says the grinding is low and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. So people gonna still get up, do their daily routine, but ain't gonna have no job. What do you think is gonna happen then? These people are gonna turn to their survival instinct. All the daughters of music shall be brought low. And you could see the state of a society by the music. The music is low, the vibration. There is no spirit in music. All music right now is written by what? Artificial intelligence. And that shows you the reflection of society. All right. New LT for verse 4. Ecclesiastes 12:4. Remember him before the door to life's opportunity is closed. So right now, seek ye the Lord before the economy collapses and before all hell breaks loose. And the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint. Well, that's speaking of something else different. But yeah, man, the keepers of the house is trembling right now, bro. Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. So all the money that you have saved up, all the riches, all the bag that these people have gotten, is not going to be able to save them from these times that are coming. Because money ain't going to mean shit. It says they're going to cast their silver in the streets. Showing you money ain't going to have no value in that day. It's just going to be like disposable. It's going to be trash. In the street. You don't throw valuables in the street. Especially, I'm speaking as it says silver, especially silver and gold. You don't do that. It says, they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. Yeah, money is a stumbling block for these motherfuckers. They get it and they start doing all type of wickedness, pleasing all type of fantasies, and let me read the New LT, verse 19. They will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and their gold won't save them on that day of the Lord's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up. Yeah, so love of money has set these people up. It's going to be a stumbling block onto them that day. Where's your God money? Huh? Is it going to save you? Can you buy your way out of this? When your family's about to get blasted, when your children, your women is going to get ravished. Huh? What could money do for you in that time? Nothing. It says they will throw their money in the streets. Hey, people gonna make it rain outside with dollar bills and, you know, throw that shit out their wallet, under their mattress, their savings. People just gonna throw it outside. What could you do with it then when the dollar is dead? All right.
$401 an ounce. Hey, that doesn't tell you that the US dollar as the world reserve currency is over. Gold exploding like this. This is not normal. You don't see that? $86 in one day? About to.
And this
Bro.
isn't one day. It says the US dollar was worth €1 at the beginning of 2025. The dollar is declining in value.
It just went up $86 in one day.
Oh, it went up $86 in one day.
Doesn't tell you
So
that
day
the
by
US
day,
dollar as the world reserve currency
the
is
money
over. Gold
is done. Now it's at $3,000. All right, an ounce of gold. All right, now money has lost its value before in ancient Egypt. And you know, back then, money was real money. All right, when you got money, when you paid with money back then, it was silver. It was a precious metal. It was gold made in the form of money. This new money we have, that shit is a note that tells you a value of money. This shit ain't worth nothing. In reality, it's monopoly money. You know, Esau has given you the illusion that it's actually valuable. It's really not. Genesis 47:16, and Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail." So money have failed before. All right, in ancient Egypt. And what did Joseph do? He set up a barter system. You see? Give your cattle. If the money ain't worth nothing, give me something valuable. And that's how Egypt became rich. Because of our forefather Joseph, man. You know, that's how Egypt rose to that status. Verse 16, New OT, Joseph replies, "Since your money is gone," well, right here it says fail, meaning it's worthless. It ain't got no value. "Bring me your livestock. I will give you food in exchange for your livestock." So a barter system is coming back. All right. Lord gave me a vision or a dream of a woman paying for me for a plate of food with a piece of her wrist, a piece of the band of her watch, man. She broke the band of her watch and paid for a piece of plate for food. And I didn't have any money. All right? That shows you that a barter system is coming back. You have something to exchange. Hey, women is gonna be bartered. Yeah, you want some food? Let me get that woman right there. Oh, you got 2 daughters? Oh yeah, let me get them 2 daughters for some apples. and a loaf of bread. People can't see it now because they're living so fucking comfortable. You can buy a bag of chips from a vending machine. You go buy you a burger and shit. Fake ass food for like $5. But the times that's coming, money ain't gonna mean shit. You're gonna really have to barter something. What you got? You got a watch? Okay, you got, is the watch real? Does it got real metal in it? Okay. What you got in return? Oh, I got some tomatoes. 3 tomatoes. Here you go. Verse 17, and they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. So, let me read it in the new LT. Well, it says the same thing. Exchange good for goods, good for goods. All right, and eventually the money was gone. And they bartered everything they could except eventually till they give up their lives. They bartered their lives. And that's where Esau is going to come into play, man. He's going to be, you people want to eat? You want to get back to normal? Take this chip. Take the mark of the beast. All right? And you people are going to be so broken, you're going to be like, okay. You're telling me all I got to do is take that and I get to eat? I get to survive? I get to live like normal again? Okay, take it. Let me get it. Yeah, man. Let me see if I got a little bit more. It says, instead we need to constantly reassess the long-term trajectory and be dynamic with assets allocations as we learn more about the future state of the global system. That in turn could push investors outside the United States. Who's really the investors? The elites. Don't be fucking fooled. Yeah, you got CEOs and men under the elites that are winning with the elite, not winning on the same level, but really who's the investors that's pushing all the money into the stocks and all that shit? The elites. So it's that time, man, to keep more of their money in their home markets, according to the strategists led by Gene. On Wall Street, big tech stocks helped lead in indexes lower ahead of their latest earning reports. So they're talking financial talk. But it says in the bond market, shorter term treasury yields fell as investors expect the Fed to cut its main overnight interest rate later this year to support the economy. But longer term yields rose with doubts about the United States standing in the global economy. The yield on the 10-year treasury climbed to 4.4%, up to 4.34 at the end of last week from just about 4% earlier this month. That's a substantial move for the bond market. The US dollar value, meanwhile, fell against the euro the yen, the Swiss franc, and other currencies. Damn, even the Swiss money is better than the dollar. This is really bad. All right. Cry in the fish gate. Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that we're in those days. We are in that day. All right, of the stock market crashing and the economic crash of the US dollar and the global crash of all currencies, of all stocks. All right, all these nations are going to go digital. It's all part of the plan. And it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord, that there should be a noise of a cry in the fish gates. So we hear the cry in Wall Street about the stock market. All right, because the stock market is going to it is crashed right now. It's crashing. All right. The noise of a cry from the fish gate. Now, in ancient times, the fish gate is where the sales is being made. That's the stock market. And then howling from the second. So it's going to go from the fish gate to the main gate, the economy. And a great crashing from the hills. So all these superpowers, so-called superpowers, their stock market is going to crash as well. And their economy is going to completely crash globally. All right? And we're in that time, man. There's tariff wars pushing all economies over the edge. All right? And it's crashing the global stock market. Not just the American stock market, the global stock market. And this is next, man. This is next. Revelations 13, Neo-T and 16. He required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or in the forehead. Now, I wanted to read that because it says he required everyone. Verse 17, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number of his representing his name. Now let's go to the regular translation. He causeth all, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And it shows you that all governments could force people to take things. Look at 2020. You had all these governments forcing the people. You can't fly unless you take this. You can't go to this country unless you take this. You can't enter certain grocery stores unless you show that you have taken that. You can't work unless you taken this. Come on, man. So how much more now when the mark of the beast, the hour of temptation, has come to pass? And he causeth all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So all these governments are going to force the people to take the mark of the beast. All right, which is gonna give these people a false sense of hope of peace and safety. You know, you take it, this is a new economy. You know, this is a new system. This is the new money. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And we're going to keep repeating this because this is the next step. This is the next phase in prophecy. All right, major prophecy, the mark of the beast, and everyone's going to live it. They're going to live to see it. They're going to be in it. All right. But yeah, brothers, I don't want to make this lesson too long. You know, it says Wall Street and the dollar tremble. So the keepers of the house are trembling. It's happening. A call Ya'al Yahweh by Shemiel Shai. Yahweh by Shemiel Shai. You know, we're blessed to see the downfall of our enemies. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shemiel Shai. Shalom.